Hello everybody, so this is Scotty from Raising Fishes. Welcome to the channel. So today I'm going to do a modification to my Hygger's backpack filter. I have two of them and I love the filter. But I'm going to show you in the video on my 29 gallon. It's a dirty tank and I don't vacuum it, and it has a lot of mold and stuff in the bottom on the substrate. Well, I put the extension tube on there and a pre-filter. I'm a big fan of pre-filters on all my hang-on backs, canister filters. So I put a pre-filter on there, but the problem I'm running into is the suction tube only sucks right through the very bottom. So what it's doing is plugging up the bottom of the sponge on the pre-filter very quickly, causing me to have a lot of maintenance earlier than I expect, and no flow through the filter. So I'm making a modification, and just a heads up warning, this modification may or may not void your warranty. So if you do what I've done, just be aware that it may void your warranty. But I did it for a specific purpose because of the amount of moam and stuff in that tank. Now I have another one on my 20 and I don't need to do it even with the extension on there because it doesn't have all that stuff on the bottom substrate and it works fine, and I haven't had to do any maintenance on it since I put it in there. It's run perfectly. But this one over here, about every week I notice that the ball stops spinning and the flow stops going, and what's happening is the pre-filter is plugging up and it's just stopping the water flow. So I made some modifications. Let's take a look at it, and thank you for watching and appreciate all of you. So I need to do a little bit of maintenance on this Hygger backpack filter. As you can see, it's barely got any flow. And on this particular tank, I don't even see the beads moving, right? And then down in here we got a bunch of dirt. So I got a hose connected to it. But I got a pre-filter on here, which doesn't come with the Hygger setup. And I got to do, I think, some modifications to the way I got it, because I'll have to show it to you when I get it all apart, what I need to do or try to do to make it better. Because this pre-filter only sucks from the very bottom. It doesn't suck from the side. So I need to drill some holes and kind of cap off the bottom maybe. I don't know what I need to do, but I need to do it so this pre-filter doesn't suck from the bottom. And you see my tank has lots of moam because I don't vacuum it. So what happens is it plugs it up and then it can barely flow. So I got to do some work on this. Maybe I got to do a tweak. I like the filter. I have two of them, matter of fact, and the other one is working great. Let me show you it. So this is my other one on my 20 tall. And it's got a pre-filter on it as well, but this tank doesn't have a bunch of moam, right? So it stays flowing really good all the time. So I'm finding on a heavily dirty, moamy tank, they plug up pretty easy, especially when you put floss in the top part of it too. This one, I have same setup, my own sponges and floss, but it's still running really good because I don't have a really dirty, substrate, whereas in my other tank I do. Anyway, let's get this filter off of here and we'll go from there. All right, folks, so let's talk about the problem that I see is here. So I got a pre-filter, but you see how this thing, it only has that hole, so that's all where it sucks from. Now this is an extension tube, so I think I can get away with kind of capping this off some way and drill small holes in here to let the filter, let me go this way, to let the filter suck through the sides here. So I need to measure where this goes, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to cap this thing off and modify it a little bit to help it flow more from the sides, and maybe cap off a little bit on the bottom. Like I say, this is an extension tube, so I can do what I want with it, or I could just put this in there like that. But that's what my plan is. Alright folks, so let's talk about how I'm going to modify this. So number one, I'm going to take a marker and I'm going to take the sponge and let me dry this thing off with a towel here. Okay, so we're going to take this sponge and we're going to run it all the way up like so, and I'm going to mark it with a marker. So we'll mark all the way around like so. So that's the height of the sponge. So I'm going to drill small holes all in through here, and then I got to figure out a way to kind of restrict this or cap it off so it sucks all over. That's the game plan. So let's first get the holes drilled, and then we'll figure out how we're gonna do the end of this thing. All right. So I'm going to start with a really small drill bit to start with, because I don't know if I'm going to break this plastic or not. Hopefully I don't, but that's what we're going to start with. So let's get this part done. All right, so this one will go in. All right. Alrighty, so here's the challenge. Is it going to work? And find out. So as you can see, that works pretty good. I drilled holes all the way through, and I'll do that over here as well. Alrighty folks, so there's all the holes drilled in there. Now let's figure out how we're going to cap this baby off or restrict it on how it's going to go from there. So let me do some thinking here. Alright folks, so I figured out what I'm going to do. So these are the plastic pieces that go on the back of your glass lids. I always keep this stuff because you never know when you need plastic for something. Well, this is going to be a perfect fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this baby right up on top here like so. And then I'm going to take my marker and draw around it, and I'm going to cut a piece off that'll cap this, right, like so. And then I'll cut this to be the cap, and I'm also going to drill a couple of small holes in the bottom of this to let flow come up through there as well. So let me get that done, and I'll show you when it's all finished. I'm going to silicone this in to the end here like so. I'll put silicone on there to hold it, which will be fine. It's just going to take a day to dry, so it's all good. Alright folks, so you can see I got the holes drilled in it. Now I just got to use a little bit of silicone, glue this puppy up like so, let her dry, and then we'll go from there. Alrighty folks, so she is siliconed on and got the holes there, and I'll trim this edge after the silicone dries, and we'll put the sponge filter back on it, and we're going to call it a day. I think that's going to be a good simple fix to help my filter Not just suck from the bottom, but sucks everywhere around, and that's what it really needs to do. So that's what I needed to do for this particular setup. Doesn't mean you need to do it for your setup, but for mine, because I have so much moam, that's what I needed to do. So as you can see, I got this cleaned up. You see how it's working really good, and that's without the extension that I just fixed. And this is just with the normal one, and I put a sponge filter on this. So we're going to let this run until my extension gets done, and we'll update you when it's all said and done. Alrighty folks, so the modification is done. You see all the holes. I got the cap on the end with a couple of holes. I trimmed this off. Now all we got to do is put my sponge filter on there and then set it up. So there you go. Sponge filter's on there. We do have one little hole barely showing, but we good. Good enough anyway. And now let's go put this baby to work, and we're going to put it on the tank. Alright, so you can see I slipped the extension on. There it is. And let's hook it up. So basically, just slide it down in here, all the way in, lock it in place, and now my pre-filter is all the way down there. Now let me go plug it in. Alrighty, she's plugged in. You can see the flow's still good. Now we'll see how well this pre-filter works. Hopefully it won't be plugging up so quickly like it did when it was sucking from the bottom. So I'm pretty happy with the results, and we'll see as time goes how well this thing works. Anyway, that is my modification to the Hygger's backpack filter, which I really love this filter, but I really needed to do something with this one because of the amount of moam and stuff that's in this tank. It really needed to have suction from different directions, so that's why I modified the extension tube. Just a word of warning, I don't know, but this may cause a violation of your warranty. So if you ever do this because you need to do it, just know it may violate your warranty. I don't know, but it's a modification that I needed to do to seemingly, hopefully, help me so I don't have as much maintenance with the pre-filter all the time. So anyway, take it with a grain of salt. All right, folks, so there you have it. I've done the modifications. I showed you the video what I've done. Please let me know what you think. Hopefully, over time, I'll do an update and tell you if it really solved the problem that I was having. I think it should. I'm hoping it will. But anyways, tell me what are your thoughts. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Anyway, appreciate y'all watching. Thank you. Thank you. And have a great weekend. Bye-bye.